Now moving away from that, as the COP28 commences to accelerate the global renewable energy transition and formulate robust plans to mitigate the harmful impact of fossil fuel extraction, 7 Ugandan student activists remanded at Luzira Maximum Prison in Uganda over their opposition to the East African crude oil pipeline are calling for release. The 7 student activists were arrested for petitioning the Ugandan Parliament against the East African crude oil pipeline project, that's the EACOP, which they say is dangerous dissonance between Uganda's oil ambitions and urgent climate action. Meanwhile, activists in Uganda have been calling on the international community to amplify this issue and uplift the demands to phase out fossil fuels and push for greater renewable energy ambition globally. To discuss this further, we are joined by Aryampa Brighton, who is the Chief Officer for Youth Green Communities and a lawyer representing the 7 activists. Good morning, Aryampa, and thank you so much for joining us once again.
Good morning, Bagali. It's a pleasure to be here again.
It's a pleasure to have you as usual. Now, can you provide an update on the current situation of the 7 activists who were arrested during the Stop EACOP protest in Uganda?
Apparently, the 7 activists, they were remanded on Tuesday. So apparently they are in Luzira Maximum Prison after pleading not guilty for the offense prepared against them on Tuesday.
So they're remanded in a maximum prison?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay, were their charges so huge that they had to be remanded in a maximum prison?
The charges, because up now, when you look at the laws where the offense under which they are charged, it is a fabricated criminal offense, I would put it, because it's an offense of incitement to violence. And looking at the facts of the students under which they were arrested, look at the cases that you're supposed to have done an act that would bring death or injury to a person or class or community of persons, which is different from what happened to the students. And yes, we've had same facts, but they always the government always slaps different offenses. The other different arrests previously have been it was an offense of common nuisance, but now same facts, and now it's a totally different offense. So this is I think why I say these are fabricated offenses, and why they were remanded to Luzira prison with this fabricated offense. This is something that the state can explain, because the state was not able to come to court on the day they were brought to court. So, and the magistrate had no file, so he had no idea about the file. So the only thing he could do was to just remand him to their prison.
All right, so since you said most of these offenses or charges are fabricated, is it possible to prove their case in the court of law? And what specific actions are you taking as their lawyer to secure their release from that prison?
So far we've had over 2 cases that have been dismissed, all originating from the same facts. But at the moment, our priority as the legal team is to get the student activists out of jail. And one, we are looking at 2 options. One, we're looking at production warrant where they could come sooner to court, because that case was adjourned to 8th of December. And alternatively is to wait for 8th of December and apply for bail. For them to have report on this case when they're coming from home on bail. So I think those are the 2 actions that are there.
All right, hopefully you win that. But then, have you been in contact with authorities or even government officials, and what has been their response so far to this case?
Not directly. I think the partners, the organizations that are working on the environmental groups in Uganda that are working on environment and human rights, have issued a press statement that has gone. So I assume that the government and the state and their security state agencies have gotten the message that we are demanding, and also we are trying to amplify this arrest. We're going to use social media. I think these are the Stop EACOP partners are working on it to make sure that these 7 activists are released as soon as possible. But we have not done something direct to the government. Neither have they issued a statement on the same.
Well, it is also our hope that these activists are released as soon as possible, and we'll definitely be reaching out to you for an update on this case. Thank you so much, Aryampa Brighton, for joining us.
You're welcome. I'll be happy to update you if anything comes up.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate it.